Hello, it's Rachel. Today I'm discussing Kung Fu Season 3, Episode 8, aka the mid-season finale. So the episode starts with the aftermath of Zhao attacking Mei Ling and running, which was how Episode 7 ended. Nikki pretty quickly realizes that Bo had to have released Zhao since she gave him the sword. So she quickly goes to Bo's apartment looking for evidence to back this up. While there, she stumbles on the Harvester's mask. So, this proves that Bo has indeed been working with Zhao since she came to this realm. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This sucked. As I've mentioned in previous reviews I've done this season, I had gotten kind of attached to Nikki and Bo prior to this reveal, and it just really sucks to see Nikki processing how she's been violated throughout this relationship. And obviously, given the stakes of Zhao being in control of Paling's body, this means that Nikki is trying very hard to repress her feelings. And so there's this tension throughout the episode because you can tell that there's a lot of anger, like bubbling under the surface, as she tries to focus on saving Paling. So while the team is desperately trying to locate Bo, they find evidence that Zhao has left town by, I think, a train. So they realize that this means Zhao cannot teleport. She cannot use her teleportation power. And through some research, Ryan learns that this power is connected to a totem, which they assume Bo is in the process of tracking down, given he was looking up information about Russell Tan. So it's at this point that we learn about Bo's history with Zhao. As a child, he was transported to another world where Zhao presented herself as his savior, where she came to his aid after he was being chased by some kind of creature, and she started to train him on how to use his teleportation power, as he is what she refers to as a traveler, albeit she's training him through shame rather than encouragement. And these few scenes of Bo as a child are extremely uncomfortable, especially because, given how strange the situation is, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Zhao transported him to that world specifically to isolate him so she could then groom him and ensure he would be loyal to her as he got older. Like, he's, what, 13 maybe at the oldest? And she quite literally threatens to leave him alone because he isn't progressing with his skill set as quickly as she wants. Like, it's very disturbing. Although I guess I shouldn't be surprised when the narrative made it explicit that the warrior and guardian bloodlines are the result of eugenics. Like, of course she would do this to a child. Of course, she's a very sick and twisted person. Anyway, after those very nauseating flashbacks, we return to the situation at hand. Nikki quickly learns where Bo is thanks to some hacking, as usual. And she gets there in time to see that he has found the totem. Nikki tries to dissuade him from giving the object to Zhao, but again, as he is a grooming victim that Zhao has manipulated, Bo's views on her do not align with Nikki's claims of her actions. So Bo goes back to Zhao, but he did grab a book that was in the same box as the totem. And the book has details on some of Zhao's more inexcusable deeds. So after looking at that, he confronts her. And honestly, this might have been the most heartbreaking scene of the show. Because we have Bo who's now racked with guilt over all of his actions that he's committed for Zhao. And he asks her, was I just a pawn? And she just straight up is like, yeah. And like, ugh, it's just, it makes you sick to your stomach. Like, she literally brainwashed him for like at least a decade. So yeah, I don't know what the general consensus is among viewers, but I don't want to hear any Bo slander. But as Zhao is in the same room as the totem now, it is too late. Nikki manages to make her way to the room just in time to see Zhao disappear. Bo immediately apologizes to Nikki as he now understands the error of his ways. But Nikki's in a rage at this point. The anger has been slowly building the entire episode. Anger at being blindsided by this betrayal. Anger at losing Pei Ling potentially forever. Anger that her family is in danger again. And she snaps. She beats Bo pretty. She beats Bo basically until the point of him passing out. It's pretty grotesque. Like, I know the scene was supposed to demonstrate her going over the line, and the audience is supposed to be horrified by just how brutal she was. But we as the audience also have learned now that Bo is a grooming victim. So, like, even though this isn't seen as a positive action, Nikki is the show's heroine. She's the moral compass of the show. And we watched her literally nearly beat someone to death. Someone who was in no way fighting back. And it feels bad. Even for a character like Zhao, where I do very much want to see that character die, like, I can't see myself cheering on beating someone to death. Like, that's. Unless it's like a self defense situation, which, even still, that's a very brutal way to kill someone. And it just feels even worse when Nikki and Bo, like, initially bonded by talking about their shifus. And when Nikki was trying to convince Bo against giving Zhao the totem, his response was that Zhao was his shifu. So, like, Nikki understands the weight of that. So, she knows that there's definitely more that she's not aware of to this story. And I'm not trying to say Nikki is wrong for being angry. Like, this situation is horrific, and I don't think anyone would handle it well if they were in her shoes. But I just keep coming back to the fact that Nikki nearly beat him to death. And then the next time we see her, she's washing her blood-soaked hands and crying. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I cannot bring myself to feel sad for her right now. Like, yes, the fury is understandable. Hell, I think the first punch was deserved. But for her to keep punching him repeatedly, like, I get that when you're in an angry headspace, it's harder to think rationally, but, like, you still have to have the thought process to punch someone. Like, that's not something you do on autopilot. And, like, again, I do get that this likely has a narrative purpose, and it will be the part of Nikki's arc for this second half of the season, but it just feels really bad. And I know I've said this multiple times now, but again, Bo is a grooming victim, and we watched him nearly be beaten to death because he wasn't able to see through his brainwashing fast enough to prevent Zhao from getting the totem. Like, that is his quote unquote crime. That he didn't deprogram fast enough. I just, I really hope this season doesn't end with Bo sacrificing himself to save Nikki and, like, as quote unquote redemption for his aid to Zhao. Because, as I've also said many times, he was literally brainwashed. Like, he was isolated and manipulated and molded into Zhao's perfect right hand man. Like, obviously, there's no coming back from this for Nikki and Bo to be romantically involved, but, like, Bo deserves better than dying for being a victim of brainwashing. And, like, granted, maybe my expectation of Bo dying is just me catastrophizing, but, like, I cannot shake the feeling that that's where things are going, because the ending was just, like, very dark um, compared to the rest of the show, in my opinion. Anyway, if anyone has any thoughts on the episode, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and I have lots of thoughts. I could continue chatting more. And we're now on hiatus for 2 months, so I'll catch you guys in February for episode 9. Bye.